Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about absolute value and what it looks like on a number line. So the absolute value is the distance a number is from 0. It is how far a number is away from 0. It always has a positive value because distance cannot be negative. So even if I was talking about the number -2, that number is still 2 spaces away from 0, so its absolute value is 2. So negative numbers and their opposites have the same absolute value. So opposite numbers have the same absolute value. Opposite numbers like 3 and -3 or 12 and -12, they're opposites of each other. They're on opposite sides of 0, but they have the exact same distance between themselves and 0. I'll show you a couple of examples here. So, for example, if I wanted to know what the absolute value, now absolute value is these two straight lines around a number. The absolute value of -14. Okay, the absolute value of -14. If I were to draw a number line and 0's here, and then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. -14 is way down here. And I want to know how far is -14 from 0? How many spaces do I have to count backward to get to -14? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So -14 has an absolute value of 14 spaces. Absolute value is always a positive value. It is just how far a number is from 0. With that being said, a negative sign, when you're talking about negative numbers, negative means opposite. Okay? What I mean by that is, for example, if I have the number 5, the opposite of 5, the number that is the same distance but on the other side, the opposite of 5 is -5. I see this negative sign, and that means opposite. Negative means opposite. So, if I have an absolute value problem that is the opposite of the absolute value of -4, first I have to figure out what is the absolute value of -4. Well, how many spaces back from 0 is -4? It is 4 spaces. If I were to draw it on a number line, if I started at 0, I would count back 1, 2, 3, 4 to get to the integer -4. So it is 4 spaces from 0. If I were just talking about the regular absolute value, but what I want to know is what is the opposite? What is the opposite of the absolute value of -4? So if the absolute value of -4 is equal to 4, then the opposite of that would be -4. Now I know a lot of you are like, but you just said the absolute values have to be positive, and I did. And the absolute value part of this is positive, but then this extra negative out here turns it back into a negative in the answer. Because I want to know what is the opposite of the absolute value of -4. Let's do one more example here. Let's say, which two integers have an absolute value of 13? Which two integers, so there's going to be two answers to this problem, which two integers have an absolute value of 13? In other words, which two numbers on a number line would be 13 spaces away from 0? So if I started at 0 on a number line, and I counted this way 13, I would end at 13. And I counted this way at 13, I would end at -13. So the two numbers that have an absolute value, the two integers that have an absolute value of 13 would be -13 and its opposite, +13. If you like this video, please subscribe and leave in the comments any requests that you have for videos, and I will gladly make a video on the topic that you are needing help with in math.